Hey there, welcome back. I am super excited today. If you've followed me for any amount of time, you know I love this Yardmax. It's got a great price point for everything that you get with it, but if there's one issue that I've had with mine, it's the self-propel speed. It really started to get bogged down and sluggish after just a few cutting sessions, but now that changes because we have a fix on how to get the speed restored on our Yardmax mower. And funny enough, the solution was pretty much right in front of my face. So stick with me, and I'm going to show you what I did to get the speed restored on a self-propel mower. Last year I published a video showing my attempts at increasing the speed of this self-propel mower. I was able to achieve some moderate success, being able to increase it around 15%, but even so, the speed still continued to be the biggest downfall with this Yardmax. And so for our quest to increase the speed, we're going to set up a similar test course as the first go around. This one's going to be 25-foot distance, but we're also going to introduce a new tool, our tachometer. This will allow us to measure the rotational speed of the rear wheel drive on our mower. Before getting started with any adjustments, I wanted to get some baseline readings. This will allow us to truly quantify our success. And just a quick look under the deck. This is about a month's worth of mowing since I've last cleaned it. We can see all the dried grass. The first measurements I took were just seeing how long it would take for the mower to go 25 feet. I started with speed number 1. It took about 10.5 seconds, so we'll note that down. Then we adjusted the speed setting to number 6, and this is the one that we're really most focused on because we want this mower to go faster. And I measured just under 9.5 seconds, which does show that the mower has slowed down just slightly since when I measured it last year. With the baseline readings in hand, we're just going to do a quick wash down underneath the deck to clear out some of the grass and see if that makes an impact on the speed. And while the hose port on the deck does a pretty good job of clearing out the grass, I did go back through with the hose and spray off a little bit more. And one area that I really noticed quite a bit of buildup was right in the drive system. There were lots of leaves. That's right where the belts run through. So I did go ahead and really try to spray that out to see if that could make a difference as well. And really the overall premise of this light cleaning is just to see if there's an easy way to boost up the speed without having to do any other adjustments. And then I proceeded to give it a run on the test course and saw that we were less than 1/4 of a second faster than our baseline reading. And when we're talking fractions of a second, that very much could be even just some measurement error about when I press the stop button on the stopwatch. So we're going to do something hopefully a little more precise with a tachometer. This is going to help us measure the rotational speed of the rear wheels, but to do this I need to prop up the backside of the mower because I need the mower to remain stationary but allow the wheels to spin freely. And if you've never used a tachometer before, often they require a reflective surface to take a measurement from, so I'm just putting some reflective tape on the edge of the wheel. And since I couldn't run the mower and take measurements at the same time, I had to get a bit creative. Found myself an extra set of hands. And really, this isn't the safest thing to do. It wouldn't take much to bump the mower and have it pretty much run off on its own. Tachometer is super easy to use. It's just point and shoot at that reflective tape. And it's measuring how many rotations of the wheel are happening per minute. Now we have our data after cleaning the underside of the deck. The next step I took, I was actually pretty optimistic that it would have a bigger impact than what it did. I had read some comments and reviews indicating that grass tends to get clogged in the belt pulley area up above the cover, and so I decided to go ahead and clear that out. It takes about 10 minutes to get access to the belt area. Have to remove the blade, and then there's a few screws and bolts that are holding on the covers. I'm not going to really spend much time in this video showing the process of getting access to the belt covers. I'll have a separate video that'll detail that out more. After getting the covers removed, I definitely found that there was some grass buildup inside of there. I was kind of expecting a bit more. This was the first time I've ever removed these covers. I've had the mower for over a season and a half now. And regardless of whether this helps the speed, I do think this is an activity that should be done periodically, maybe even before storing the mower away for the off-season. I got the covers nice and clean, and then it was time to do a pretty good inspection of the belt and pulley system. I was looking for any cracking or fraying of the belt, and really it looked to be in pretty solid condition. I also went ahead and just kind of pressed on the pulleys, make sure that they had some range of motion, didn't seem like they were frozen in place. A bit later on, we're going to take a closer look at the pulley system because it does come into play with our final solution. But now that I've got this put back together, let's go ahead and check out the speed. So even after clearing the covers out, high speed is only 65 RPM, so just a tick up from our last measurement. Then I decided to go ahead and measure low speed. This was the first time I've done that. We're at 50 RPM on the low side. Now this was more of an exploratory activity. I wasn't really sure what I'd find. The manual doesn't really recommend any certain interval to do this, but I wanted to open up the transmission on the rear wheel drive. This would allow me to inspect the gears, inspect the lubrication, really look for anything that may be causing resistance and slowing the speed down. Once I got this opened up, I could see the lubricant or the grease in there, and it was definitely tinged gray, so it got me thinking maybe there was some rubbing or some grinding, some wearing down of some of the metal components, the gears inside of here. But after doing a closer inspection, really didn't see any signs that anything was really too worn down. Everything looked like it was making good contact, the teeth were still in good shape. But I'm by no means a small engines expert, so what I decided to do was just to go ahead and get this cleaned up as best I could without doing a full disassembly. Then I went ahead and re-lubed the entire gearbox. Hopefully this will help prevent any friction down the road. And as I was going through this process, I was pretty optimistic that this was going to make a difference in the speed. Just having seen the gray residue in the gearbox, I figured maybe there was some friction going on there that was preventing smooth operation of the drive system. And after getting this all buttoned up, it was time for another test. And it was a little bit surprising to me, but we were pretty much at the same speed as we were before doing any of this relubrication. And just a really quick pause, I am going to be putting out another video that details various maintenance activities around the Yardmax. It's going to range from basics such as an oil change, spark plug check, blade change. We'll even spend some time going through the steps that we kind of breezed through earlier in this video, including clearing out the belt covers and lubing the gearbox. So please consider subscribing if you're interested in checking that out. If you had watched my previous attempt at fixing the speed on this Yardmax Self-Propel mower, you'd see that I really focused on the turnbuckle that leads to the drive engagement. I performed a number of different tests, manipulating that turnbuckle in both directions, pretty much maxing it out to the point where the drive system actually locked up. But at the end of all of it, I only saw a minimal speed increase. It pretty much left me feeling like the speed was going to be a lingering issue. After reviewing my attempts at adjusting the turnbuckle on the drive engagement system, I started thinking maybe I should look at this turnbuckle that sits right underneath the speed lever. It sort of seemed like that just may impact the speed. So I went ahead and I started adjusting that turnbuckle. I rotated it counterclockwise so that the turnbuckle would move downwards on the cable. I really pretty much bottomed out the turnbuckle as I was moving it downward. I wanted to see, again, if this would make an impact, and if so, just to what extreme. And then I went ahead and tightened that jam nut at the top. Now this is the big moment to measure it up. After having going through all the effort of cleaning out the underside of the mower, getting that gearbox lubed up, sort of felt like it was a long shot, that none of those other options made a difference, and that something as simple as a turnbuckle would make an impact. And this is where I learned an important life lesson. Sometimes it's the little things that can make a huge difference. After that simple adjustment, wheel speed was all the way up to 96 RPM. And then to get a real-world simulation of speed, going ahead on our test course, and we're at 7.25 seconds. And I was pretty excited about this because this was the huge jump that I had been trying to achieve now for over a year. But before celebrating too much, I wanted to make sure that this speed would actually hold up over the course of time. And of course, there's really only one right way to do this, and that is by mowing. All right, I have now cut my lawn a couple times since making our speed adjustments. We're gonna go ahead and do another check, see how it's held up. While mowing, I could definitely feel a bit of a pep in the step of this mower. However, we need to quantify this. 96 RPM, way faster than I started with. And while speed 6 saw that huge jump, this was kind of interesting to me. I set it back down to speed number 1 and saw hardly any increase in speed post adjustment. And so really, I was very excited when I got that speed increased. I thought, hey, I found the solution. I hadn't seen this anywhere else. Imagine my surprise when I went to look at the manual again and saw the speed control adjustment was sitting right there. It's only a couple sentences, small little blurb, but it does go on to point you to the various turnbuckles, including the one for the speed control. So then I felt kind of silly. I had made a video last year about trying to get the speed increased, and in that video I was essentially turning the wrong turnbuckle. I was turning the drive control turnbuckle when I should have been turning the speed control turnbuckle. Go figure. Now I wanted to go ahead and really take a closer look at the belts and the speed lever mechanism. So I removed the covers, and here you can see that I did have some grass that ended up in those covers after just a couple mowing sessions. But now let's look closer at the belt and pulley system. So as we'd expect, when we pull or change our speed lever, we've got this pulley here. So this is speed 6, it's very tight. And then if we go to speed 1, this loosens up, drops our pulley down, the belt is looser, it's gonna run slower. So that's what this cable is back here. It's the cable going from our speed control. So it definitely makes sense that that is the turnbuckle that we wanna focus our attention towards, is the one that's gonna adjust the tightness of these pulleys. Just a quick demonstration, that drive engage cable that I had tried to adjust in my previous video, it's actually not doing anything with this pulley system that's going to change speed. It's really only adjusting the sensitivity of being able to engage the drive system. All right, I think this warrants a call for knocking on wood, but it's been a long time coming and we finally have our speed fixed. If you remember back to my 1-year review video, speed was the #1 downfall I had with the Yardmax. And so let's just really quickly go back through this adventure and see the steps we took to get the speed to where it is now. We started out with baseline readings of 63 RPM and then cleaned out the grass, getting it up to 65. We then opened up the transmission, cleared out the old lube and re-lubed it, getting up to 66 RPMs. Then we found our ultimate solution, that speed lever turnbuckle, getting it all the way up to 94 RPM. So what does this mean? We were able to achieve nearly a 50% increase in rotational speed by adjusting that turnbuckle. And one thing to note, the RPM measurement is the rotational speed without any load. So it's still important to compare the actual travel speed, in which we saw about a 30% increase. This factors in things such as friction and wheel slip. But all that said, even a 30% boost in speed is huge. To put this into perspective, it's typically taken me about an hour and a half to mow the lawn. A 30% increase in speed could shave off around 20 minutes. That'll give me more time to do other work around the house, like maybe finishing my never-ending stair project. And there we have it. Speed is now restored. It took us a while to get there, but ultimately the solution is quite simple. And hopefully you found this content useful. If so, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. We'll have more adventures with our Yardmax and a lot of other things around the yard and the house. I'll see you next time.